Right guys, it's the 12th of January and I've been hard at it since first light really. So this is our rose border here, and part of the plan of the fruit and veg back garden is to dig these out. You can see we've got some of them labelled up. We've got people coming to collect them at some point. So what I've been doing is taking this bark mulch off, which has gone down to the micro orchard to mulch the fruit bed down there. So I've got another 2 trugs, and then I'll have to cut the membrane out because I cut it originally and planted through it, and then we put the mulch on top. And in terms of, you know, that worked really well. There was hardly any weeds ever, and any that were just easily pulled out. So in terms of low maintenance, it was a brilliant system. But it's had its day now. So I'm just going to cut this membrane out. I'm not sure if I'll be able to utilise it again. We'll see. We're going to go up to this point just beyond this Irish yew. So where that little one, there's a couple of little ones here, and these are all sort of larger roses. So the plan at the moment is to keep those. I'll prune them back. Possibly the Rambler, but we might cut that hard back. But yeah, so we're gonna, and then the Espalier apple's gonna be dug out, and then down here will be a row of asparagus, and then I'm gonna put a sort of timber frame around it, really just so that the soil keeps, it's fairly flat, but just to keep it in place, and also that it means I can top it up, top dress it as and when necessary, and it's not going to kind of roll down. The blueberry plants up there, I need to repot those, and then we're going to sort that bit out then. For the time being anyhow, they can just kind of go along there, which is just sat on top of the mulch, so they shouldn't really need a big lot of looking after. So I've got an email earlier spinning around. The topsoil's coming in the next 2 hours, so once hopefully I've got this done, then it'll be all hands on deck, and we'll get this 1,000 litre bag of topsoil barrowed through and into the greenhouse, spinning around again. That's all ready for it to go in. Right, I'll bring you back in due course. So I've got the membrane off, and you can see that it's absolutely unequivocally done its job. There's not a single weed. I can't remember how many years it's been down, quite a few. Anyway, start getting the roses out at some point. Probably better to wait until the people confirm when they're going to come, and then the roots don't get dried out really. I'm just still waiting for this soil. Right, catch you in a bit. So here it is, the eagle has landed. Looks pretty good stuff. Right, let's get some moved. Catch you later. So guys, there we go. It'd probably settle of course, so but I'm glad I've got it in now, and then it can be settling down and probably just top it up ready for the planting later on in the year. But yeah, I'm really happy that that's in now. So in terms of this side, I think I took out about 6 or 7 roses. You can see I've already started to cut the Espalier back, ready to dig that out. That's why I've left most of it upright for some leverage. So we've just got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, about 9 roses to. We're going more or less to this Irish yew, and like I said, there'll be a row of asparagus plants which are already up here going along there. Then I'll build a frame around them. So that's going to be, like I said, asparagus, and mentioned about the blueberries and what have you. I've pruned the roses that we're going to keep, apart from I need to do a bit more on the Rambler. but we'll just keep that with the mulch on and everything because it's low maintenance. And then just spinning around. Now I've got somebody coming at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to choose some plants out of this herbaceous border. I don't know whether you want any roses or not, but we'll see. But I'd like to get at least, you know, enough for my cold frame to go in, so I can bring that back up from the allotment. And then of course that'll be so much easier to take plants from the greenhouse, pop them in the cold frame, and I can look after them much easier. So that's where it was dropped. Say right here's the front gate here. So we've probably used about half of it, 500 litres or something like that. So I've just popped an OSB board on top with some bricks just to keep the worst of the rain out until we're ready to use the next lot. So guys, another little follow up. It's the 13th of January. My eldest lad's birthday today. He's 28 years young. Happy birthday. So I've got the Espalier out. I've cut the stump off. As you can see, that was, for anyone who's interested, that was on an MM106 rootstock. You can see it's a fair root system. There were some pretty big roots there to get out. I've got most of them out. I'll take that down to dry, log it up for firewood. Seems a shame, but you know, things have got to move on. I mean, we planted that when we first moved in 1996. So what's that, 25 years or so, something like that. Anyway, moving swiftly on, he said. Dug some more roses out, so it's just 1, 2, 3 and a tiny little one there. I think what I said, that was the first rose she ever got, so she wants to keep that for sentimental value. Pop it in there somewhere. See if we can find homes for those 3, and then I'm clear then to I'll just dig it over, and then I can get on with planting the asparagus in there. So moving round again on this side. Somebody came up this morning and took about 6 big clumps of perennials. So this doesn't all have to be cleared at once. The main thing for me is just to clear, as I say, about a 4-foot section here, so I can pop the cold frame on there, and then that's ready for when I start wanting to harden off plants and that. Right guys, 15th January, just another little update. I'm going to spin you around now. So a friend of mine gave me a helping hand yesterday, and we made a start on this little trellis frame thing for the tayberry. I ran out of slate battening here, but at least we've got one in. You can see we've just pulled it off the ground now and just tied it in, looped it round, then come back. So it should fruit this coming year, and then when I get a chance I'll get some more and then put probably another 2 loops on, a bit like Bill's over there, and possibly the option of putting another post, sort of just running it along and putting another one in there maybe, because they're quite vigorous when they get going, a bit like the loganberry really. Right, let's spin around. I'm going to walk down here. Penny from the United States asked me a question about fruit trees. Now she has 6 fruit trees, all from the same company. 2 peach, 2 apple and 2 plum. I think that's right, Penny, isn't it? Anyway, she said the peach tree flowered, but unfortunately the frost killed the blossom. But the apples and the pears have never flowered. There's no fruit buds on them at all. Now I'm going to use this as an example. This was one that I bark or rind grafted 3 or 4 years ago maybe. You can see how it's callousing really well now. But if you look up the stem, you can see the big plump juicy fruit buds at right angles, whereas the leaf buds are tend to be much more vertical, if you like. They cling to more to the bark, really. See, the developing fruit buds are much more plump and standing at right angles. And then, as you see, if we come up here, these will turn into fruit buds. But if we just take this branch then, assuming it didn't have any fruit buds, this is what Penny's saying. Now I'm assuming that means there's too much vegetative growth. In other words, it's just wanting to make wood and not develop fruit buds. Now one thing you can do to try and influence the tree to make fruit buds is try and restrict the flow of sap, because when you've got an upright branch like this, it's just like a motorway. The sap just doesn't have anything to impede it. It'll just keep on going right up and up and up. So what you do is, it's a thing called festooning. Right, so what you do is you get some cord, fairly heavy duty, shot cord, whatever you can get all of this, that's about 5mm thick or something like that. Get your cord and then you want to tie it as high up as you can round this branch. Then what you do is you bend it over as far as you can without, you don't want to snap it obviously. You can see the bend I've got on that now. And then you take the other end of the cord, you see there's a building brick over there, wrap it round a brick, a heavy stone, or just like a peg it into the ground and pull that down tight so that that branch is left like this. And what that's going to do is that's going to restrict the flow of sap, and then that'll induce the tree to start to form fruit buds, which is what you want obviously. So Penny, I hope if you're watching this, I hope that helps. You can try that. It's to say it's called festooning, and but you do need a sort of some obviously flexibility in the branch. But even if the branch is quite rigid, you should still be able to bend the tips over. I mean, here's another one not as flexible. That's coming off that one there, but you could still bend it over. See, that's almost at 90 degrees now. And then again, just get some strong shot cord or something. You don't want it snapping on you. And weigh it down with something really heavy so it's not going to shift, or peg it down very, very with a really good sized peg. Tie it in. See what I'm talking about there, hopefully. The other thing you can do is restrict the root system. So what you would do is you would come out from the tree, maybe, I don't know, what's that, 18-inch, couple of foot possibly, dig a trench right round and cut through any roots that's coming out, and that will be another means of slowing down the flow of sap and reducing the tree's vigour, and hopefully encouraging it to form fruit buds. The other thing you might want to consider is there too much nitrogen, because that will, as you know, that will create lots of leafy wooden growth in trees rather than fruit buds. So while we're down here, up at home I had a load of this bark mulch which was on the rose bed, so I cleaned it all off and thought, well, I might as well use it on the fruit bed down here. So I brought that down the other day. It looks like the birds have done the job for me, scattering it all around. And then we just need to we've got a repair job to do here, where this little pallet fence thing is broken, but I've just realised I need to make some more what do you call it, this bit here to screw it into out of battens. So I can do that later today, get that done, and then really not too bad. We're more or less caught up again. As I say, I'm focusing on getting things sorted out up at home. Anyway, I'll leave it there and I'll catch you later.